MVP. Lamar Jackson was just named first team All-Pro. Let's talk about that, the MVP chances, and more. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing the Ravens content every single day. I just posted a video. It's in short form, but it's my prediction for every single game in the wild card round. Check that out if you want. If you don't, no worries. Let me know what you think is going to happen. But Lamar Jackson, Patrick Ricard, Roquan Smith, and Marlon Humphrey were all named first-team All-Pros today by the Associated Press. This isn't some PFF thing. This isn't PFN. This isn't the Pro Football Writers Association of America. No, this is the Associated Press, the deciding factor on Hall of Fame ballots, essentially the awards that people care about. Not only does the AP vote on All Pros, they also are the ones that vote on the Most Valuable Player Award, the most distinguished award in all of the NFL and probably all sports, right? The MVP is what matters the most, and the MVP in the NFL is decided by the Associated Press. And Lamar Jackson was named as the first team All-Pro quarterback. I believe Josh Allen is the second team. I think he got like 18 votes, and Lamar had 30 for first team All-Pro. So that's huge news. Lamar Jackson now has 3 first team All-Pros, which if you didn't know, that's more than Patrick Mahomes. That's more than Kurt Warner. That's the same amount as everybody's GOAT, Tom Brady, right? Same as a guy named Joe Montana. This is unbelievable. Lamar Jackson, 3-time All-Pro, is historic company. Like that already, in and of itself, for a quarterback to be a 3-time first-team All-Pro, they are in the Hall of Fame, first ballot, without a doubt. Why do I say that? Because that means you were the best quarterback in the NFL for 3 different seasons. There's only probably 7 quarterbacks that can possibly say that. I tried to find a list of, the most ever just to see who's more. Obviously, I know the most ever is Peyton Manning. Rodgers also has a lot. I think they're like 5 and 4 respectively. But Lamar Jackson being at 3 that's elite company. But one of the biggest things with that is that shows that he was the best quarterback in the NFL, which I think everybody recognized. Like when you're thinking about the MVP debate and you're thinking about these, who's the best quarterback in the NFL debates, like the people that are bringing up Josh Allen, again, this isn't me trying to discredit Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a spectacular talent. But when people bring him up for MVP, it's very rare that you hear the argument, he was better than Lamar Jackson this year. That's not the argument. A lot of times the argument is, well, Lamar's won 3. Well, Josh Allen has done this 3 times now. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. If you've done it 3 times, that doesn't count. It's a 1-year award. It resets every year, right? Just like first team All-Pro, just like defensive player of the year, just like the Super Bowl, right? It resets every year. What you've done in the past, right? Your record last season, the touchdowns you threw for last season, they do not matter. The Super Bowl that you won, right? The Kansas City Chiefs aren't looking at this year and being like, yeah, we shouldn't win the Super Bowl this year because, we won it last year. No. You're trying to win the Super Bowl every year, trying to win the MVP every year. And Lamar Jackson, according to the voters, the same voters that will be voting on the MVP, was declared as the best quarterback in the NFL. And again, I don't know if there's ever been a situation where a quarterback lost the MVP while being first team All-Pro to another quarterback. Obviously, it happens when non-quarterbacks win it, when LT won it, when Adrian Peterson won it, when Marshall Faulk won it, when Barry won it, right? The first team quarterback didn't. Actually, I think Barry shared his MVP. But most of the time, the player doesn't share the MVP. And the quarterback only doesn't get it if it's a running back or defensive player, which has happened twice. So huge news for Lamar Jackson fans, Ravens fans, people that are like really care a lot about the MVP. Again, like it's cool if he wins it. Like Lamar Jackson doesn't care. Lamar Jackson wants to win Super Bowl MVP. He wants to win the Super Bowl. That's what he cares about. That's what Ravens fans really care about. But at the same time, it's nice to see our guy get some flowers. It's a lot of fun. No pun intended. I'd love to see Lamar get some flowers for the divisional round. That's what we need. But the other players that made it, so obviously Lamar Jackson, 3-time first team All Pro. Patrick Ricard, shout out to Patrick Ricard, first team All Pro, first time in his career. Patrick Ricard, I think, is widely regarded as the best blocking fullback in the NFL. The fullback that traditionally has won it has been Kyle Juszczyk, another former Raven. Love to see him get his flowers as well. But this year, Patrick Ricard led the way on one of the most dangerous, arguably the most dangerous rushing attack in the history of the NFL, because they averaged the most yards per carry. And Patrick Ricard, huge part of that. You know, they say it on every broadcast, every time you watch the Ravens, whoever it is, Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Greg Olsen, they say, follow Patrick Ricard, follow Project Pat, follow Pancake Pat. He will show you which way they're going because he will run somebody over and build a hole for Derrick Henry to crawl through. So, again, huge congratulations to Patrick Ricard on that front. The other ones, Roquan Smith, 3-time first-team All-Pro now. That puts him in great company. Not very many players can say that they're a 3-time first-team All-Pro, and he's been an All-Pro each year. He's been with the Baltimore Ravens. Huge testament to how good he's been for us. Even in a year that's felt like a down year. It's only felt like a down year defensively because the Ravens have struggled against the pass. Well, the Ravens are also the best team against the run. And that's because of Roquan Smith. Roquan is fantastic against the run. He's not great against the pass. That's not his specialty. We've known that. Now, he's not the worst in pass coverage. He can make you some plays, right? He can give a big hit, force the ball out. He can get an interception. He had one against Patrick Mahomes week 1, I want to say. He got his interception. So, this isn't a situation where I'm like, oh, he's horrible at one thing and great at the other. No, he's good at one thing. He's fantastic at the other. And it's nice to see that even in a year where a lot of people probably felt he wouldn't get that recognition, he still does because his name holds that much weight around the rest of the NFL and NFL writers and news outlets and the national media. Really cool to see. And then finally, the guy that I've been saying is having his best season of his career, better than his 2019 All-Pro season, Marlon Humphrey. Marlon, All-Pro Marlo, Pro Bowl Marlo. Some people are trying to get it to be Depoy Marlo. I don't think it'll happen. I'd love to see it, though. But he's having a great season. He's been the best slot corner in the NFL. He's been arguably the best corner in the NFL. The only guys that you're really arguing with him, it's like Pat Surtain. That's the only guy that's arguably had the better season. Marlon has made game-winning play after game-winning play after game-changing play. It just feels like he's been in the right place at the right time. And the one spot of this secondary where no matter what was happening, he was going to make that play. And that's not to diss any of the other Ravens players. But it felt like Marlon could do no wrong in the regular season this year. And him getting rewarded with another All-Pro after, a lot of people were questioning his abilities. And I'm not going to say I didn't ever question it. I thought there was a chance he might be gone after this year because the Ravens might be moving on. But Marlon Humphrey has been an absolute baller this year, a true professional. He's helped lead the way for Nate Wiggins, be the number 1 corner on the team that desperately needed the help. Because we've turned this team around or this defense around, and that all comes down on Marlon's shoulders. So huge shout out to him. The Ravens didn't have any others. If I were to say there should be another, I'd say I think Kyle Hamilton. You guys know I think Kyle Hamilton's the best safety in the NFL. Statistically, he's not a statistical anomaly, right? Because he doesn't get a lot of sacks. He doesn't get a lot of interceptions, but he's just a baller. He's a guy where safety is such a difficult position to grade. I think it's that and linebacker kind of the 2 hardest positions to grade just because tackles a lot of times for linebackers aren't a good thing. It's the best linebacker in the NFL isn't the guy with the most tackles generally. Generally that's a Blake Martinez type who, again, I like Blake Martinez. Shout out to Blake Martinez, Stanford alumni. But he'd be on those Packers or Giants teams, lead the league in tackles, and he wasn't getting anywhere near the Pro Bowl, anywhere near the All-Pros because he actually wasn't playing well, but he got a lot of tackles. Safety's same way, right? If you get a lot of tackles, that might mean, you're out of position. You're getting there late, and then you're tackling them rather than forcing the incompletion. So Kyle Hamilton doesn't get a ton of picks. But he's the best player against the screen and the outside run game from the safety position from over top. He's good with the ball in the air. He forces the ball out, but he just doesn't get targeted. And that's a testament to what quarterbacks think about him, right? Like, I don't really care what writers think about my DBs. I care about what the quarterbacks do. Because if they're not throwing at him, they know something's good. But I think this is a really good all-pro team. The Ravens had 4, most in the NFL. Testament to how much everybody believes in their guys. But thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more. And I'll see all of you again tomorrow with a pregame show. Can't believe tomorrow's already game day. Ravens Steelers up next.